And welcome back, everyone. Welcome for the third broadcast of the day, or I guess technically first broadcast of this day, as we have clocked over into Monday. Welcome to Berserker Team League Valhalla Season 5, week number 6. Of course, we are the CranKy Ducklings, and this week we are going up against PSISTORM Gaming. I'm your host, Live VIP. With me, the one, the only, the casting jersey herself. Welcome, Kuro.
Hello there, and we are already loaded into our first game, slightly ahead of time, and we are looking at our first player, which will be the Red Terran, representing PSISTORM Gaming, of course. It is Nicoract, the Beyond Slayer.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have his opponent, representing the CranKy Ducklings, the American Terran player himself. It is Vindicta. And yeah, here we go. We are here in our first game. So I guess we gotta remind everyone a little bit. It's been a couple of weeks since our last Berserker Team League broadcast, but we are participating in 2 team leagues this season, BTL and WTL. WTL being World Team League earlier today, and things here are done a little bit differently.
Yeah, in the WTL we have the best of 2s. Here we have the regular Pro League format, which means each matchup is a single best of 1, and all the best of 1s are of course known ahead of time. I mean, 15 minutes before the match, so that's much ahead, but yeah, it's all on best of 1s here.
Yeah, just as Pro League was back in the day. So because of that, it does mean that it is a little bit more cutthroat and a little bit more brutal. You only have to take your one game, and then you knock the opponent's player out. So it is that much more brutal. But we've actually seen these two face off quite a number of times. I believe it was in the Rakshir Team League, which was the kind of season finals of BTL. Vindicta also faced Nicoract when we went up against PSISTORM Gaming.
Oh, yeah, it did. That's an interesting stat that you bring it up. I erased the TVT from my memory because it's TVT. Who would want to remember it? But yeah, if you say that, I could see that definitely happening. And as you said, we were in the Rakshi, which is like basically when you participate in these leagues like the BTL, you collect points, and later on you are seeded into the finals of the season, which is Rakshi.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that it is. So yeah, we'll see how things shape up here. Again, we have a TVT before us. We do see a little bit of a variation here in the openers. Nicoract is going to be pumping out his own Reapers and Hellions, going for a little bit of a coffee-esque build. I imagine going for 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions. Meanwhile, from the side of Vindicta, he's going to be playing the Defender here. Instead, he went for an add-on switch, and he's going to be rushing out a faster Cyclone instead of foregoing Reapers and Hellions.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, Vindicta is more of a defensive player in general, I would say, although he can be pretty offensive as well with his sweet micro, but generally it seems like he feels much better in the defense side of things, and it looks like that's what he will be going for this time as well.
Yeah, they both did SCV scout each other, but they didn't really get to see too much. They both were stopped at the ramps, and I would say that Vindicta is coming out a little bit ahead after this opener. We do see that Nicoract is waiting for any kind of Hellions or Reapers to show up. There aren't going to be any, but he's actually not stopping that production either. Looking at the units tab here, yes, it is 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions, so it is that coffee build. He's going to be rushing across the map. Is there going to be enough to defend here? Again, the goal of Nicoract is to try and dive and focus down that Cyclone as quickly as possible.
Do you think that Banshee can be any help in this? I mean, none of the units of Nicoract shoot up, so, I mean, it's about to pop up.
Oh yeah, none of them will shoot up. Meanwhile, the boys are being pulled away here. We have to be very careful because of that splash damage from these Hellions. 2, 3 SCVs already going to be going down.
Yeah, and the Reapers were lined up as well, which was very risky, but looks like for the time being, Vindicta is holding this.
Yeah, again, it looks like the Banshee is also going to be revealed here in the middle of the map. I don't know if this is ideal. I mean, 1 Reaper gets picked off, a 2nd Reaper gets picked off, but this also means that this Banshee won't be surprising Nicoract and won't be dealing any economic damage.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, He's still not getting much defenses at home against it, to be honest. So there is a possibility it will sneak past the units of Nicoract, but it looks like Vindicta is opting for a frontal attack instead.
Yeah, exactly. He brings everything forward here with a Cyclone advantage. He's going to be able to take advantage of this fight, but with the Raven, auto turret is thrown down, and Vindicta is forced all the way back. Oh boy. But behind this, Vindicta, he's going to be able to reinforce. He's not stopping. Surprisingly, he is rallying his tank across the map as well.
Wait, he doesn't have medivacs, right? There are no medivacs. No. So he's just gonna be basically like he's just gonna be trying to see what he can do with the vision alone with the tank range. But it looks like all of the buildings of Nicoract are quite far.
Ooh, actually the CC is in range, so he's going to force a cancel on the third base. At the same time, though, Nicoract is going to be diving on this location. Auto turrets are thrown down just before the reinforcements of Vindicta show up.
Yeah, and Nicoract is able to clean this up. The Draven is like late to the party. He's like, never mind. Just goes back home.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there by Vindicta. Everything would have changed if this would have shown up. He would have the Raven for the auto turret. He would have had SCVs for repairs as well. So that was a bit of a costly trade from Vindicta, especially after losing that tank.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would be nice if he got that cancelled, but I don't even think the CC got cancelled in the end. He did get a bit of damage, but I think Nicoract was able to just save it with that cleanup.
Yeah, he was able to save it. Something else that's really interesting here from Nicoract is that he has not stopped Raven production, which is a little bit odd. The sweet spot is usually 3 Ravens, but he's going into a 4th Raven as well, so he's going to have so much energy, so much opportunity here with his disables, with his auto turrets, with his anti-armor missile. Yeah, interesting choice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, question. Do you think he's not gonna stop? Do you think he's just gonna be constantly making Ravens? But I guess here is our answer, as he does switch these buildings. So it will be just, one extra Raven. Maybe it will be in the front. Maybe it will go for some harassment. But yeah, that will be some interesting advantage for Nicoract there.
Yeah, I'll be honest, you don't see this too often, and this does get scouted here by Vindicta, so he's going to be getting in position. He does have a couple of Vikings, but only 2 Vikings. He has 3 tanks, but we have plenty of energy for disables.
But there are Vikings for Vindicta. Ooh. Actually, the Ravens of Nicoract get disabled. I mean, 2 of them still stand, but the rest of them are completely useless.
That was very crucial there for Vindicta to get those disables off. Meanwhile, the Ravens of Nicoract are all going to go down. He's going to try and dive into these tanks, but he cannot do it.
Yeah, it looks like the army of Nicoract has been cleaned up. Those 2 Ravens are trying to see if they can get any damage done, but they are so low on health, they can be sniped.
They can be sniped. Vindicta, he's on the hunt. He has 2 Vikings trying to chase him down. He's going to try and cut them off at the pass, but Nicoract does have control of the watchtower, so he sees that coming. He's going to try and juke him out. He's going to actually try and backpedal and go around the other way.
Do you think this is where he actually goes and has... Oh, this Viking is in a perfect position and snipes both of them.
Wow, and again, that was like really quick thinking from Vindicta to be able to disable 2 Ravens just before that push, because Nicoract, that was pretty committed. His goal was to disable every single tank and just bum rush and just break the 3rd base and maybe even go for a kill move. So that was very close.
No, yeah, this was really clutch for Vindicta to get all of those, but now Vindicta is on the offensive and his Raven goes down as it was low from before, but Nicoract has not rebuilt his.
Yeah, and you know what? The tank count is in favor of Vindicta. He takes down the tank of Nicoract as well. He also wins the Viking battle in the skies. Vindicta's going to be able to push on forward and threaten this 3rd base. The boys are being pulled.
The boys are being pulled. Citizens are on the tanks. But one of them is on siege, and it will be enough, I think, to deter these SCVs, but not without losing a few of the tanks.
Yeah, exactly. 3 tanks of Vindicta are going to go down, but very nice target firing. He was intentionally focusing down the Marines and the tanks of Nicoract and just relying on splash damage to kill SCVs. And with that, Vindicta is going to come out ahead in the workers.
Yeah, in the workers just slightly, but still it's a nice lead for Vindicta. And all things considered, I think things are going fairly well for him there.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a 4th base on location here. Looking at the units tab, we do see that Vindicta is equal in both tanks. He's ahead in Vikings. Marine counts are looking relatively similar, but what's most important here are going to be, as I quickly check, yes, the upgrades as we're evening things up 1-1, but Vindicta immediately starts 2-2. Nicoract is lagging behind a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't quite have the attention or resources there for this next upgrade. And he's actually moving straight into Vindicta's base. He's able to... I think he was able to delay it a little bit, but it was just a split second, and Vindicta will keep this fourth.
Yeah, he did kill the building SCV of this CC, so he was able to delay for a couple of seconds, but Vindicta was very quick to replace that and to rebuild. Meanwhile, there we go. 2-2 has now started for Nicoract. There is going to be a small window where Vindicta has an upgrade advantage, but I think it's negligible. It's only going to be like maybe 10 or so seconds, maybe 20 seconds at most. So I don't know if Vindicta is really going to be able to make use of that. Regardless, he is looking to push out and going for a Doom drop.
Yeah, something to point out. Nicoract only just started his combat shields. Meanwhile, the Vindictas are already done.
Oh, they are already done, so a little bit of a misstep there. Meanwhile, we do see Nicoract is taking control of this watchtower, but it's a little bit too late. He actually missed the Doom drop. Oh.
Yeah, the drop is already going towards the main, but there is a welcome party already prepared. Vindicta has to rethink this strategy, and I guess for the time being, they will go back to their thing.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't commit. He doesn't lose too much here. He's going to be reinforcing Luna to take control of this watchtower and keep Nicoract in the dark. Meanwhile, Nicoract likewise also getting his fourth base up and running as well. Both players are able to just kind of trade blows here, back off, and focus on their macro.
Yeah, even in the supplies, like there is a bit of a supply difference, but I think it's not that huge. That said, Nicoract's army has gotten really big lately.
Yeah, it's quite a large army indeed. He is slightly ahead in the tank count. He has been completely ignoring Viking production and going for medevacs instead. Looking at the visionary of Vindicta, he does spot that main army coming on forward, and Vindicta has commenced Viking production here.
Yeah, he does have a bit of some medevacs of his own, and he's ready to receive Nicoract's attack. But does he have quite enough here? I think these armies are fairly even.
Oh yeah, but you know what? Vindicta, he's lagging behind when it comes to his tanks right now. He only brought 2 of them with him, so he's going to have a hard time holding on to this position. He needs to bring the rest of them over.
Yeah, it looks like Vindicta was predicting some kind of backstab there and left a few of his tanks behind, but actually Nicoract decides to go around, so position of Vindicta will be saved for now.
Yeah, meanwhile, Vindicta, I don't know if you noticed, I believe he threw down 2 more starports. Here we go, 2 more starports in the natural base. He's going for Corvid Reactor. He is transitioning into Ravens.
Is he going for mass Ravens now? Are we gonna see that?
It's the dichotomy of TVT. You begin with Ravens, typically you end with Ravens, if you can get there. Before that happens, we do see, once again, Nicoract has been making non-stop tanks. It's insane. He is heavily ahead in that tank count, but can he make use of them?
Yeah, I mean, looks like Vindicta is sieging first, so he will get some nice fire on all of these marines, but is it quite enough with all of this? Look at all these tanks from Nicoract in the back.
Yeah, that's the key word there. They're in the back. They were a little bit too far away to really help out at all in that fight. Only a couple of the tanks were fighting, so Vindicta is able to hold on.
Yeah, it looks like nothing was quite in range there for the tanks, so all of the marines go down, and Nicoract once again has to go back to check on his reinforcements, while Vindicta is finishing his Corvid Reactor, and looks like he's gonna be on the offensive again.
Yeah, what's important is that Nicoract did keep his tank count alive, so he still has a large and insane number of tanks that he can work with. But he opted to skip Vikings. Because of that, he doesn't have air control, and that means that for every tank he has, well, we make up for that in Ravens. These Ravens will be free to disable them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And now they are waiting in their prime position, and Nicoract will set up here and siege up, but the Ravens are here.
Oh, and there we go. There's that first disable. 1 tank is going to go down for free. Marines are going to try and stop these Vikings, but ooh, they step a little bit too close.
Yeah, and there's not that many Marines to begin with because of the early attack, but ooh, here's a small harassment force in Vindicta's base, but it actually gets shot with another Raven.
Yeah, there's Ravens everywhere, Poppy. They're all over the place, and Ravens are exactly what we want right now. Another disable here on the tanks of Nicoract. Vindicta is just slowly pushing forward, but ooh, a little bit of his control. He loses 2 Ravens.
Yeah, bad rally there, unfortunately, from Vindicta as 2 Ravens fall down. I think one of them actually threw down this armor missile, but yeah, unfortunate to lose 2 of them so easily.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we do see that Nicoract also recognizes I need to get into Ravens on my own. He's got Corvid Reactors on the way. He threw down 2 more starports. Again, he is late to the party, and he has been paying the price for it. He has been losing a lot of these tanks.
Yeah, Vindicta trying to dive on that Medivac, but unfortunately losing a Viking for it, which is not the greatest. And he has to be careful because Nicoract is trying to outposition the army of Vindicta. And he set up a siege there, but he's not really moving forward all that fast.
Yeah, towards the north, there's only a handful of units here. Nicoract doesn't really care too much about this army. He's pushing on forward straight through the middle of the map, and Nicoract is out of position. He's trying to stim on forward. He's trying to chase this army here, but he's a little bit too late.
Just a little bit the tank siege, but there are so many tanks of Nicoract. The anti-armor missile will definitely help, and we have some disables as well, but can Vindicta's army come back in time? And yes, it can, and it cleans up Nicoract completely.
The surround is real. GG gets called. Nicoract went for a Hail Mary play, rushing through the middle of the map, but that's exactly what Vindicta wanted. He just swallowed it up in the end. GG gets called.
Yeah, it's almost like Vindicta was waiting for him to just come to his base, and that's when the trap was closed.
GG. Well played. Vindicta will take the first game of this best of 5 series. Oh boy. Oh my god, and yeah, nice little lead here for the CranKy Ducklings. Meanwhile, as I switch the scenes over, we can all have a look at the lineups here. Both teams are fielding 4 players in total for a best of 5 Pro League format. Of course, we do have a revive if we get to the ace match.
Yes, indeed. This is a best of 5 as a reminder, so yeah, we will be playing. Here's a thing. I think we are not playing all games if the one of the team wins, although we can. It is a possibility.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is definitely a possibility here. As we are going to be heading over to the land of Europe to Oropapapi. As here in Europe, we are gonna. Oh my god! As I just realized, there we go. Here in Europe, we are going to be getting into Ryu versus Creed.
Ooh. If I can connect to the European server. Thank you, Blizzard.
Thank you. Oh my god, we will do.
This is my home server. Why can I not connect to it?
We're moving over to the land of Europe, and this is going to be a ZVT. I'm both excited and also confirmed. Ryu hasn't been the most active player recently. Of course, he did end up taking a break from the game, and then he struggled to adapt to the most recent meta, so he isn't as in form as he was at the start of the year. But at the same time, he has been playing a lot more recently. He has been practicing a lot more, and he is here once again to prove himself.
I think he actually streamed today, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think it was during our WTS, so we weren't quite able to watch. But yeah, it looks like he's looking to be active now. Don't worry, guys. I'm still negotiating with the Europe server. One day we will get there.
Oh yeah, yeah. Are just negotiating. I guess we are just setting some things up. May as well set up the lobby while I'm here as well. Oh boy. And again, the maps are also predetermined, and because they're best of ones, again, there's no like veto process, there's no loser's pick or anything like that.
Yeah, and actually, like this format is much more rough because if you happen to get a map that you're not particularly good at in the matchup, you're not particularly good at, like there are no second chances. This is not a best of 2 where you get to pick a map later. Like this is the map and this is what you play. Like you have to figure it out.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. I'm just find some people. Oh.
Yes, of course, shoutouts to Light, as Light is the one. He's not only casting here, he's not only streaming, not only observing, but he's also managing the team itself as the captain, and you know, making sure all the lobbies are created and all the players are where they should be.
Oh,
so
yes.
it is a lot of attention that is needed.
Yes, yes. I'm trying to set up the lobbies as well as best as I can. Oh boy, beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. Lobby has been set up for us. We're just gonna be waiting patiently here for Creed. Of course, our lovely opponents. And yeah, beautiful.
Hmm?
Beautiful. Looks like we have found him in the end. Oh, I was a little bit concerned, but we have found all of our players, and we can begin.
Okay, this is so funny.
What's up?
It's I looked at I clicked on Creed's Wikipedia, and on his photo he actually looks a lot like one of my teachers from school. And it's like like I had this like sudden moment of like, this face is familiar. I don't remember this person teaching me in school, but this face is familiar.
Yeah. Creed has been relatively active for a number of years now, but I don't believe we have been able to cast him before, so this is going to be a little bit of a first, an introduction
Yeah.
to this Terran.
I feel like we might have seen him on the channel, but definitely not too often, so we will find out how he plays today. But for the time being, we are looking at the Duckling player, as we have the Blue Zerg here, representing Peru, but also living in Italy. It is our Duckling, Ryu.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the red Terran player himself representing PSISTORM Gaming. It is Creed.
So, Light, have we ever asked Ryu how he pronounces his name?
No.
Do you think we should maybe at some point do that?
I'm content with Ryu. What kind, like this, the madmen out there are saying Ryu, like shaking my head, Rotterdam. He keeps trying to make that work,
I
and
mean,
I didn't see it, buddy. I didn't see
It's a Ryu, clearly.
Ryu. Yeah,
Ryu.
Ryu.
Ryu is dragon in Japanese.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we are here in a bit of a ZVT. So a couple of things coming into this. One, of course, we are on the European server. Ryu is the Peruvian residing in Italy. So ping-wise, we should be feeling pretty good about ourselves for both of our players. But historically, ZVT does seem to be Ryu's weakest matchup. So if there was ever a moment for PSISTORM Gaming to have a little bit of a comeback, this is their moment.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it looks like there is nothing cheeky coming from Creed so far. Just, getting his expansion, getting his scout done. Like, no proxy access, no shenanigans like that. So it looks like at the very least, Ryu will be able to get into some solid macro game.
I mean, that's where he really excels. The longer the game goes on, the more comfortable Ryu is. It's usually early game timings that's kind of catch Ryu off guard, and that's really where he is at his weakest. Meanwhile, from the side of Creed, again, he's more of an unknown player to me. I know he's been around for many years, but because we haven't casted him, I'm not really too certain what he favors, where he leans towards, and whether or not he even enjoys mech.
No, don't say that word out loud. Don't tempt him.
I know. No one wants to see it. There's probably some people out there that want to see it.
I mean, there are a few people who want to see it.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting. Nothing like putting 2 Zergs on the cast.
Shaking my head. Well, I mean, there's Terran players that dislike mech as well, especially in TVT.
Hey.
Just saying.
But I've seen a lot of players actually despising mech as well. So.
Regardless, we do see that Creed is going for a much more standard, old school 1-1-1 opener. No fast 3rd CC in sight.
Yeah, just just the regular. Getting his starport prepared, getting some scout with this Reaper, just barely getting out, but not too much harm done. He did block that third from Ryu for a little bit with his SCV, but it wasn't too bad either. So it looks like indeed Creed wants to go into that macro game.
Yeah. So for those wondering, Ryu, he's not a very cheesy player. He's a very macro standard oriented player, more of a reactive player, if you will. So if Creed is aware of that, I mean, he was just double checking, just making sure there was no early roach war, no early lair, no early gases, just scouting and keeping things in check. Meanwhile, Ryu goes in for his own scout, also confirms the 1-1-1 opener, and more importantly, does see that we don't have an add-on switch. He doesn't have to worry about BCs or Banshees.
I almost want to say that this is. I feel like I've seen this rarely nowadays. Like this like, standard slow ZVT where it's like, oh, this is where the harassment comes. This is where this, like, it just seems very calm compared to what I'm normally seeing nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a place for this, don't get us wrong, but this also does put a little bit more emphasis on Creed dealing some damage. He does have quite a number of Hellions here, does have 6 in total, just poking and prodding, trying to find a way in. At the same time, Viking is looking to clean up these Overlords. One Overlord will go down, only one for the time being. Hellions, again, trying to find a way in, but the Queens do manage to rotate over.
Queen did get a little bit low, but Hellions are not enough to kill it, and there are more Queens coming for backup, so it looks like the bases of Ryu will be safe for the time being.
Yeah, they are going to be safe in the end. Meanwhile, keeping an eye on what Creed is up to here, because, again, there we go. We do have a third CC on the way, double E-base as well. Very stock standard. Isn't going to be looking to necessarily hit a timing with this stim. He does have it, don't get us wrong, but he only has 3 Marines right now, which is also why typically we have an add-on switch. We do see that Tech Lab used for some form of harassment, and we wait for stim a little bit later.
By the way, I do find it interesting that Ryu opts for the lair at the third base, actually, like right there on the front.
Yeah.
I mean, it does give you bonus HP, which is definitely something, but it's also it can be a little bit risky. But I guess not against Hellions.
Meanwhile, the Hellions, they dip in and they only get 2 drones. That did get a little bit scary there. If he committed, those drones were lined up. At the same time, they rotate over. They do catch the morphing in 4th base. Can they force a delay here? It looks like they will force that cancel.
Sorry, I got distracted because somebody's doing fireworks all of a sudden. What the heck? But yeah, we have a roach warren going down for Ryu now, and that Viking is just chilling there. Did you notice?
Yeah, Viking is just chilling. At any moment, he can just land and try and shoot down some of these workers if Ryu isn't paying attention. So he has to be a little bit careful. And once again, this roach warren is very indicative of Ryu's style. Ryu, like Dark, does this as well. He throws down a roach warren just for a handful of roaches, like maybe 6 to 8 roaches, morphs them into Ravagers, and just has them as a support unit to bow down tanks, to bow down Liberators, to bow down Widowmines.
I mean, yeah, that definitely sounds quite useful. Like having a few Ravagers here and there to buy down the dangerous factory units definitely sounds like the plan. But it looks like this push will only have literally 1 tank.
Yeah, interesting here. We have the 2nd tank on the way, but factory production was delayed. In total, we do have 5 Raxes up and running here. Creed is actually moving out here. A bold move. I'm sure he's emboldened, though, by the fact that he was able to keep the majority of these Hellions alive, so he will have a greater buffer force against the Banelings.
Yeah, definitely. Also, he's doing pretty good job at keeping this creep at bay, and now he's distracting you in the main base while the frontal attack is now coming in.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how good this is. 1 tank is sieged up, but we have a full surround here. The Biles are going to be connecting on said tank. Tank is going to go down. Banelings find their connections, and Ryu cleans this up.
Yeah, very nice cleanup from Ryu, running the rings straight in, getting those Ravager buys that we were mentioning before, and yeah, very nice defense from Ryu. It looks like he's gonna just have some time to build up, to take a breath,
Yeah,
and progress harder.
This is a very scary moment here for Creed, because again, like, his first push was the strongest. He just lost every single Hellion, which means now Creed can be spread freely. He lost his first tank as well, so he doesn't have any backbone to his army. He doesn't have any pushing power. He's moving out with a handful of Marines, but again, these Marines don't really pose too much of a threat. There is a large enough army to slow this down.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, Ryu just went in, he cleaned up the entire army, but I feel like he didn't actually lose all that many units of his own. Despite, Zerg generally trading their units, like the links were lost, but not much else, and now they are surrounding these Marines.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of links did go down here, so a decent trade from Creed. But the problem is that now Ryu's economy is getting out of hand. You know, we have a 4th base, we have a 5th on the way, we're continuing to drone up, 2-2 being thrown down. We have double Hydra Den, which I think is a mistake. But Ryu...
No, it's perfectly fine.
Ryu is known as the Lurker King for a reason in Latin America. He's throwing down 3 Hydra Dens. Oh my god.
3 Hydra Dens. All the Hydra Dens.
Oh,
we need a 1 Hydra Den in every base.
Does he know that we don't need to morph Hydra Dens into Lunker Dens anymore? Does he?
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there we go. We have a cancel. So one of the Hydra Dens was supposed to be a Lurker Den. I think this second... Oh, he is going for a bit of an upgrade timing.
Yeah, very nice design from Ryu. Meanwhile, this is another attack, but it is being cleaned by the Link Bane, so no damage there for Creed. And actually, his base is being harassed a little bit as well.
Yeah, Ryu has eyes on the 4th base. He knows it's being taken. At the same time, we have a double drop set up towards the northern portion of the map. We have very little creep spread here, no side defense here. Ryu has to respond very quickly before he loses too much.
Yeah, fortunately, his army was actually moving towards the upper corner of the map, so he will be... Ooh, actually great shot from those Banelings.
Yeah, the Baneling connections were on point. We have Ling Bane waiting for another drop here. So this time Ryu is prepared. He has split up his army. One of the drops did get away though, so there's still a little bit of a threat. Ryu has to be careful, but in come those Banelings. They do not find their connections.
Yeah, the Banelings were sniped and actually the links are being cleaned up, so Ryu will have to respond to this drop. It's not being cleaned up as easily as before. He's moving away the drones to minimize the losses, but he will lose this hatchery.
Yeah, the hatchery is going to go down. Meanwhile, it looks like Ryu was able to this time successfully split up his army. He will be able to clean up this double drop here in the northern part of the map. At the same time, a little bit of a Ling round by is going to deal some damage, and he did end up losing that hatchery.
Yeah, the hatchery does go down. I mean, he does have a few, so, you know, he's not gonna... It's not the end of the world for him yet, but he has to be careful about this because he's spreading his army quite thinly now.
Yeah, he really is. But everything's going to change when he gets lurkers out. We have the lurker upgrades on the way. Hive is already done. He has to be careful. He has to keep these bases. He has to survive long enough to actually get into his favorite unit.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would say that it is his favorite unit, and every time I see Ryu in a ZVT, I get flashbacks to him abducting ghosts into lurkers.
That did happen back in the day. That did happen. We do see Ryu going for a little bit of a counterattack. He wants to trade out. It looks like he's going to be able to get one tank for his troubles. Only a single tank, then he's going to back off.
Yeah, nicely done by Ryu, not getting too ahead of himself, just seeing what damage he can do and moving back, because with this tank spread, actually look at this tank spread, like,
oh, yeah.
This is not easy for Zerg.
Yeah, like Creed is pretty heavily fortified here on his 4 bases. Taking a 5th base is going to be difficult though. Like Ryu, he has a Ling here towards the north and a Ling over towards the gold as well. So expanding from here is going to be difficult. It's going to be a bit of a journey for Creed. So we'll see if he can do so here as Ryu basically gets control of the entire map.
Yeah, the entire map almost, as actually Creed is able to sneak these 2 medivacs there for some kind of harassment.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We'll see as we have drops on drops. Double drop here is going to be cleaned up at the same time. Another double drop towards the northern portion of the map. There's nothing here to defend. This drop is going to get a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, it's probably gonna take down this base because the army of Ryu just cannot get here in time. But what is he planning with those dropper lords? Like, there are sensor towers everywhere.
Yeah, but there's a section here that is not covered by the sensor towers. It is covered by missile turrets, so we'll see if he can get it done. At the same time, double drop in towards the natural as well. Ryu is being pulled apart.
Yeah, I mean, he's focusing on that fancy strategy on the front, but in the back, he's actually losing buildings. So, you know, he has to be very careful because his economy is not looking all that great now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, a couple of Vipers get misrallied as well. 2 Vipers are going to be going down, but here is the mass lurker drop into the main base. This is supposed to be the Hail Mary play here, getting on top of the production and shutting down these Raxes.
Yeah, he was actually barely able to take down these missile turrets, so the Overlord survived, and But there's so many ghosts here.
Yeah, every single lurker's gonna go down. This was not worth it for Ryu. He plummets in supply. He was doing so well earlier. Like he had map control, he had all these bases, and then he wanted to have some fun with this mass drop, and it was not worth it.
I mean, one of the barracks may burn now.
Yeah, so a very, very big gas loss there. On top of that, the Vipers were reset as well. So now Ryu is on the back foot. He has to rebuild. This also means that Creed has plenty of time to rebuild his own army that he lost and also try and actually expand and take that fifth.
Yeah, definitely. And as we said, like as Ryu was focusing on this, on this fancy drop with the lurkers, he was taking losses back in his base. He was losing drones. He was, taking damage to his buildings. So he actually has to be really careful now because his army is not that impressive anymore.
It really isn't. We have 6 lurkers, we have 15 hydras. That's a lot of supply and hydras that aren't necessarily very useful. We do see that Creed is slowly taking this 5th base. The tank roll is coming, the turrets are here, the ghosts are here. Like Creed, he basically has the composition that you want in this late game scenario. Ryu, not so much.
Yeah, he's walking the Hydra straight into the tank range. He will pull a few of the tanks, but there's still more waiting, and the ghosts are walking in now.
Yeah, the ghosts are working in. We need Ling Bane here to deal with these ghosts, but we just don't have any to support this. 48 Lings are in production right now. Again, how do we stop these ghosts? We need something to close the distance. We need something to help buffer for these lurkers.
Yeah, definitely. How many ghosts are there? I need to know. 14. 14 ghosts are on the side of Creed currently.
Yeah, that's a lot of ghosts, and this is also a very pivotal moment. Usually, the win condition for Zerg is to starve the Terran out on 4 bases. Because the 5th is up and running, this is enough to get Creed a bank right now. Meanwhile, the ghosts are nowhere to be found, so Ryu is finding a little bit of damage here towards the south.
Yeah, actually out of position there, and the lurkers are able to damage the command centers or the orbital even, but just damage is not enough, I feel, and Ryu loses more drones.
Yeah, a couple more drones going to be going down here. The ghosts were exposed for a moment, and Ryu wanted to try and catch them. He's waiting here. He has a little bit of a trap set up. He's looking to try and fungal those ghosts, and if he can reset the ghost count, he's back in this.
Oh yeah, definitely, but, you just have to see and wait for the opportunity. He's going for it, but can he actually do it?
Here we go, where's the Albaro? There we go, the fungal does connect on every single ghost. The Lings are coming in as well. We have an EMP, but it's a little bit too late. Or is it the Lings are trying to desperately catch up? Oh.
Unfortunately, Ryu waited a bit too long and the ghosts were able to come back into the tank range. And in the meantime, Creed also denied that gold base.
Yeah, the gold base did end up going down here. Meanwhile, it looks like it may go down again to these Marauders.
Looks like just barely Ryu is able to clean it up and take down this gold this time, but I don't know. It's a very tricky situation because, it's actually fairly close there.
Well, it really is. Looks like the gold has to be rebuilt. Again, Ryu, he's just taking these bases. He doesn't really intend to mine from them too much. He just wants to make sure that Creed doesn't have them.
Yeah, basically, taking the spot, This Orbiter is actually burning down. Creed has to make sure he fixes this, but every time the SCVs come in, they are being killed by the lurkers.
Oh, they really are. At the same time, Creed, this is dangerous. He's looking to try and expand and take a sick base. Bit of a Ling run by here is going to be able to maybe... No, not quite. Doesn't get a tank, so a little bit wasteful those Lings. At the same time, Lings were needed here instead. As snipes go off and 3 lurkers go down.
He's abducting ghosts again. Right, he's doing it. But there are 14 of them.
There are 14 ghosts. Oh god, again, Creed slowly looking to expand. Ryu has to try and do something about this, and this transition is late. He's looking to go into Broodlords.
Yeah, definitely something that Ryu has tried before with his lurkers, and I mean, these ghosts are still so dangerous, and the queens are actually out of position and will get sniped.
Yeah, 2 queens are going to get sniped. Meanwhile, the main army of Ryu once again trying to shock around and catch these ghosts. Do they have enough range to snipe? They do!
They do, actually. With all the scans, they're able to snipe a lurker from the high ground, which is really nice for Creed. And he's not stopping with the ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
He has 16 ghosts, and he's making nukes now.
Yeah,
and he's just getting, more academies.
I mean, at this stage of the game, ghosts are what you want. Like, ghosts, they take down any kind of hive unit, whether it's a lurker, whether it's an ultra, whether it's a brood lord. What they suffer against are infestors, and even then, the EMP infestors, and mainly Ling Bane. Like,
Yeah.
Ling Bane has a place here, especially when it comes to trying to catch these units. Meanwhile, we have a shocking force of these infestors looking to try and catch them once again.
I mean, even if they get it, how do they kill them?
I mean, it has to be a combined effort. You know, we have the fungal to lock down the ghost, and then the rest of the army has to come in as well. But we don't have that many lings, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like, the ghosts are not really moving far away from the range of the tanks, so it's really difficult to strike the trap.
Yeah, and once again, like this is a little bit disastrous. A sixth base is being taken here by Creed. Like, Ryu just cannot stop him from expanding.
Yeah, and at the same time, the first nuke is being set on that gold base, no less. And Ryu, he will try to deny it, but can he actually?
It looks like he will not. The nuke will connect here. The ghost will go down, but a little bit too late.
Yeah, just 4 drones going down, so not the end of the war, but still, that is some damage for Creed, and now he's moving in.
Yeah, and Ryu just doesn't have what it takes to stop this army. More snipes are going to be going down. The lurker count basically gets reset. We need something else here. The infestors were a little bit out of position. We need their support if we want to stop this army.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Ryu cannot let himself, like, lose units like this, just, rallying them in. Like, there are a few, like, units, just stray units going around, which is just not good in this situation. Like, you have to save anything you can.
Yeah, you really do. And I mean, that's why at the end of the day, like, these energy-based units are going to be very key. Like, we have infestors, we have vipers, we have brood lords, we have lurkers. Like, this is a very sophisticated army, and it's going to take quite a lot here for Ryu to really make use of this. Meanwhile, he goes for a run-by, and he catches the tanks.
Yeah, catches the tanks, catches the SCVs, and maybe even the fortress.
Barely doesn't get the planetary fortress in the end, but he does get 17 SCVs, and finally this is the first time that Ryu was able to slow down the economy a little bit. It wasn't enough to take down this base, but he was able to cripple it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of workers, he is ahead, but see, the problem is now, like, Creed is intentionally losing workers. I feel like he already has the army that he wants for the most part. He's actually making space in his supply for more army. So I feel like now it's not as impactful to, like, go for these workers.
Yeah, it really isn't, but now that big army fight is going to happen. We have a lot of broodlords here to support them. We have those infestors. We have a couple of vipers as well. It's going to be really awkward to engage as Creed is ready to receive right now, but here come those vipers.
Yeah, the vipers are actually able to pull one of these swords, but there's still so many ghosts there, and with the swords for backup, they are able to snipe a lot of these broodlords.
Yeah, it looks like a couple of these broodlords do end up going down for one of those Thors. They did get a couple of ghosts in the retreat though. Again, these broodlords do quite a bit in this kind of scenario, adding their own zerglings in a way.
Yeah, definitely. The Hellbats will help with the broodlings though, but is there enough of them actually to do this together with the fungal?
Oh, that's a good question. We did have one fungal on that main army. The Vipers are going to be going down. We still have 2 more fungals available, and the ghost count is being reset.
Yeah, the ghosts are going down, and the Hellbats are not able to fight against Broodlords themselves, so they are slowly being, eaten down, but this is actually really close in the army. Can the Broodlords do it?
Oh my god, the Thors are doing so much. We have a little bit of a neural. It looks like 2 Thors are going to go down. The ghosts go down as well. The Broodlords are barely standing strong.
Yeah, but 2 Thors are still standing, and they are doing a lot of damage to these Broodlords. There are still infestors in the back. They're trying to do what they can, but they are, they will run out of energy eventually.
Did you see that? He neuraled the Thor, so it showed the animation, but the Thor got picked up by the medevac, so the neural went nowhere. Oh my god.
The more you know, you can break a neural.
It just happened like a nanosecond before, so it was a little bit of a glitch there. Meanwhile, we do see that Ryu was able to trade out a little bit more efficiently. Looking at the unit count here, we only have 4 ghosts as opposed to the 16 that we had earlier. So Creed was a little bit wasteful there. He didn't have his ghosts spread out. He basically got the ghost count reset, and Ryu is trading more efficiently.
Yeah, also because we only have a few goals, I don't think he's gonna be using nukes as much on the bases. Like, sure, we have one here on the front, but as long as Ryu doesn't run straight into it, I think he's fairly safe from that.
Yeah, Ryu looks like he's going to rotate over instead. He's like, you know what? I've had enough trying to push through the center. I'm going to try and challenge your fringe bases instead. Broodlord Infestor is the name of the game right now. But Creed is also rebuilding a lot of these Thors, and oh boy, we'll see if he can reposition in time. Creed is struggling a little bit to keep up.
I remember how we mentioned mech.
Ghost Thor, you know, that's kind of Ghost Thor is what we want against Broodlords. One planetary is going to be going down. The Broodlords are trying to edge ever closer here, slowly taking down these missile turrets. Meanwhile, the Thors, again, because they're so thick, they're having a hard time really finding room to push forward.
Yeah, actually, with all of this Sim City set up here, they barely have any place to stand, and now Broodlords have their time, and they are Liberators getting their ground set up, but there's not much ground here for Ryu to begin with.
Yeah, the Liberators, I'm pretty sure they're meant to zone out the Infestors. So the Infestors can't move forward here with their Neurals or with their Fungals either. So now we need more Corruptors instead. And there we go, 4 Corruptors are on the way. The Hydra count gets reset, but we needed to get rid of those Hydras. Ryu is slowly refining his army, and he's coming in from the side with the Infestors.
The Infestors are coming from the back, and they are actually taking over a lot of Creed's units and turning against them. Ooh. But is it quite enough to defeat this army? I think Ryu has it.
Oh my god, we do have an EMP, but the EMP misses a couple of the Infestors. The Fungals do connect. We have your Thor is my Thor, and with that, the Liberators get picked off.
Yeah, the Liberators get picked off, the Thors get picked off, the base will get picked off, and Creed has to back off.
Yeah, that was a very smart move there by Ryu. We did see that the Liberators had these bridges covered, so the Infestors came in from above instead. Creed had no idea, and the base goes down.
Yeah, very nice attack from Ryu, but now the question is, who can remake his army faster, basically? Because, you know, both players suffered heavy losses, but who can remake?
I think this may just be over, unfortunately. We'll see. But Ryu has 0 gas. He only he's mined out. He's broke. He's mined out of gas completely everywhere except for the bottom left-hand base. This is the only place where he's mining gas. So he's very limited with the army that he can rebuild. So every gas unit that he loses is huge.
Yeah, and as we see, Creed still has quite a few of these swords. He has tanks as well, so the Infestors will fall to this really quick. They are in range.
Yeah, 2 Infestors go down immediately to the tanks, to these ghosts. Look how many tanks there are. Again, breaking this position is going to be so difficult. Ryu has to be careful. I like this. It's pretty important that he tries to steal some of that gas.
Yeah, I mean, as Creed is busy with the main army, he may as well try to take the base, but ooh, can he take all of this mech army now?
Yeah, that's a question. A lot of these queens are going to be falling left and right. Queens can be rebuilt, though. Again, they are mineral units. So Ryu is aware of his lack of gas, so he's just making nothing but queens and nothing but lings.
Yeah, definitely. Those are some strong units for Zerg that don't require any gas at all, but I mean, I don't know, like, I might be traumatized, but this mech army still scares me. There's just so many Thors and tanks there.
I mean, it's also the inverse for Creed. Creed is running out of minerals right now. As we can see, like, he has no mineral bank whatsoever. So I'm sure they would love to trade. I'm sure you give me gas, I'll give you minerals. But that is not going to be the case here. Ooh, a lot of these tanks are going to be going down. In come those Infestors. No, they don't quite go for it yet.
Yeah, very nice that from Ryu, actually taking down a lot of these tanks. There was a ghost or 2 dying as well, but there are still quite a few of them left, so Ryu still has to be careful about his positioning, but that was a really nice fight.
It was a nice fight, but here we go. The ghosts are moving on forward. They land another EMP on some of those Infestors. Not all of them, though. Meanwhile, the Thors are pushing on forward here. They're trying to focus down as many of these Broodlords as they can.
Yeah, looks like a lot of the tanks are falling, so Infestors should have a little bit of an easier time.
He has the base. He's getting the gas. He knows he needs the gas so badly. Creed knows that. He turns back. He has to stop the base.
I just saw the Orbiter just floating above the hatchery. I'm like, yep. Yeah,
and here we go. He's going to be long distance mining from this base as well. Meanwhile, Ryu also rotating on over with his own Broodlords. A lot of drones are going to be going down, replaced with more queens and more lings.
Yeah, so there will be more links coming, and you know, Links are pretty good against Thors if they can reach them. So that definitely can work out, but these bridges are very narrow, so Ryu has to make sure he rallies his units properly.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how things go here. So many energy-based units here for Ryu. He has to transfuse, he has to fungal, he has to neural, he has to be careful here with his broodlords as well. Taking care here with how he pushes in and just actually intentionally killing some of his own drones actually just to make more army.
Okay. I mean, we did see Creed do that before later in this same game, so I guess we reached the point where both players want just more army in their supply.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not that many bases to mine from left. Like, this is the only mining base for Creed. That's why it's so oversaturated right now.
Yeah, and then Ryu trying to go with static defense, but they're not quite able to set up.
I mean,
and I feel like we reached the TVT stage of ZVT.
Well, I mean, it makes sense just because spores and spines are minerals, so making a wall of spores and spines definitely would make sense in this position. Meanwhile, both of these Zerkers are gonna get sniped. Oh, again, more gas down the drain for Ryu.
Yeah, very unfortunate. But he is able to make a few more broodlords at the same time, so you know, we'll be able to reinforce this army, and he's once again trying to go around the base.
Yeah, exactly. Creed is none the wiser here. Is this the correct angle of attack though? He scans, he does confirm the location of that army.
Yeah, there's so many queens there as well, trying to spread the creep as fast as possible. And I mean, Creed is just setting up his fortress with all these Thors.
Yeah, the Thors, the missile turrets, the tanks, the ghosts as well. Everything's going to be coming from one angle. We have a zoning nuke. Uh-oh.
Yeah, the zoning nuke is being set up, and I don't think he's being cancelled, so Ryu has to be careful where his broodlords go.
Yeah, he sees that he has to back off. Nuke will connect, and we'll get a queen. Oh, cancels the nuke.
Yeah, I guess Creed sees that Ryu has moved away, so doesn't want to waste his resources either on the nuke.
Very true. Nice target fire. The ghosts are coming in.
Ooh, they went straight for the EMPs on the investors. I think they got some of them, but not all. But still, I mean, they were able to zone out the infestors, so the Thors are still standing.
Yeah, the Thors are still standing. We need these infestors desperately to try and neural parasite these Thors. Can he pull it off in the end? There we go. We do have one neural on the first Thor. The broodlords are going ham as well. The Thors are going down.
So it's like, and are they going down fast enough? I think they may be, but there's still quite a few of them left. But the queens are coming in.
The queens are coming in. The broodlord count is insane right now. There's only 3 Thors remaining, and after a long 31-minute game, Ryu has finally broken through. He's taken out the army of Creed.
Yeah, the swarm is now here. It's taking the base of the Terran. He scans. He sees the gold. The gold has been completely mined out at this point. And I mean, there's nowhere Creed can go really. How much does he have? He has 2 Thors, 2 tanks, and 4 Hellbats.
He has 4 Hellbats. Shaking my head. The broodlords, they push on forward as well. Looking at the unit stat, as you were saying, 2 Thors. Another Thor is on the way, but the production is under fire right now. Ryu has so much momentum going his way. I don't know if there's any way that he'll lose his broodlords.
The Thor actually popped out of the factory right before it was destroyed, which was really nice. But yeah, Ryu still has a bank of minerals, so he can just make more and more queens, more and more zerglings, and the mech units are not particularly great against those.
They really aren't. I mean, Creed is doing whatever he can to hold on right now. You know, he's trying to micro his heart out. He's trying to repair as best he can either. But he's broke. He literally, he's got a couple of mineral patches in his own main base, but in comes Ryu with the mass link.
Yeah, another neural, and I think Ryu is finally overpowering this army. There's barely any workers left, there's barely any army left, and the broodlords are still standing, and the queens are still there for the backup.
Oh, exactly. Even though Ryu, he struggles sometimes in the ZVT matchup, GG gets called, and Ryu will take game number 2 for the CranKy Ducklings.
Alright. Do you think he would win this game more easily if he didn't drop all his lurkers into the mine?
Yes. Hold on. You had too much fun with the lurker drop, Papi. I'm letting him know.
Oh.
For those of you who tuned in a little bit later, like 10 minutes into the, or 15 minutes into the game, Ryu loaded up all of his lurkers. He went for a mass lurker drop into the main base of the
A
Terran.
doom drop.
He doom dropped and he lost everything.
He lost everything and did like no damage essentially. I mean, he did unload. He destroyed 2 turrets and he put barracks on fire. That was the damage.
GG. Ryu just responded to me. I'm like, man, you had too much fun with the lurkers. And he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, I don't know what's happening, Papi. Oh my god.
Hey, okay. So this is the thing. I can appreciate creativity and trying weird things. Okay, okay. That it is a thing. Although I'm just not sure if that thing was worth it. It's like you go to the main with like most of your army's worth, and you see turrets and stuff. And it's like I don't know if this was the right decision there, but hey, you know, you gotta try.
We gotta try. We gotta try. Oh my god. Regardless, GG, really well played to Ryu. Again, even though like he may sometimes struggle a little bit when it comes to certain timing attacks, both defensively and offensively, when it comes to the late game, army control, he does have some of the best, if not the best, in Latin America. And yeah, he was able to further the lead here for us, for the CranKy Ducklings.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say I find it very interesting that we have 2 very macro, very late game focused players in both Ryu and Vindicta in the respective races. And then we have Dolan, who's like taking care of the early game.
Oh god, exactly. Speaking of, here he is. Let me just quickly switch the scenes over. So far, Vindicta has come out on top against Nicoract, Ryu took down Creed, and now we are getting into Dolan versus Namshar on Moondance.
Yeah. Namshar actually playing lately in the DreamHack North America, so he might have encountered Dolan before. Not quite sure if they have played quite recently. But it will be another TVZ. Just, you know, switching places.
Oh boy, oh boy. Yep, I'm just letting the players know here as we are getting our lobby set up, sending out the invites as well. And yeah, so far a really good start here to our BTL match. I was telling Dolan, mate, we're up in the series. He's like, I know, Papi, I'm watching.
Good, good. Okay, Dolan. Here's where Dolan tries to show Ryu how to dome drop, and he like, I don't know, takes his Taurs and drops in the main.
I not like this, Papi, not like this. We are just, yeah, setting things up. A little bit of insider information I don't mind sharing here is, fun fact, originally Dolan wanted to be coming out on map 2. He was like, he wanted Moondance, but he wanted to come out earlier. He was like, send me out, Papi, send me out. And I'm like, mate, I don't want to do that to Ryu. I need to give Ryu the biggest map possible, okay? I need to give him the best shot, and it worked out in the end. Some of these other smaller maps can be a little bit harder to pull off the style that Ryu went for, and yeah, thankfully he was able to excel in that late game scenario.
Yeah, and he did use fully that map.
Yeah,
like all of the bases were taken and pretty much mined out.
Oh, they were all taken. Oh my god. And meanwhile, we're just going to be waiting a little bit for Namshar. It looks like he is in game, but we are, maybe he went to get some water. I mean, he had to wait a long time, to be fair, you know?
Yeah.
it was a long game.
Look, I told you, at some point we reached the TVT stage of ZVT where like one of them had Broodlords, the other had tanks and Taurs, and they were just staring at each other. That was it.
Yeah, they were just looking upon each other, and Yeah, again, that was really close. As we saw, both players were running out of minerals. They were running out of resources, I should say. That was a, a scary moment, a dangerous moment. Oh god, it came down to both of them fighting over that last mining base in the top right-hand corner of the map as well. We saw them trade a little bit. Sometimes the Terran had it, sometimes the Zerg had it, back and forth. Yeah, that was a great TVZ.
I feel like it was kind of like... It just reminded me a lot of, like, you know, ZVTs from like few months ago, I guess, even more than that. Like as we said, like the beginning of the game even was like set up that way, where it was much more calm than it is nowadays. It was, you know, much more proper ZVT, if you will. Except for the lurker job, it was like very standard, and it went for very late game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the ZVT matchup hasn't shifted too much over time. The changes that have happened in ZVT, Creed didn't go for. You were talking about it yourself, about how Creed was playing like an older style of ZVT, like he wasn't aggressive and in your face with BCs. He didn't go for like a 3 racks opener. He didn't go for an economic opener either. It was more older school, it felt, and I think that played to the strengths of Ryu a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, we were just saying that Ryu has been a bit less active lately, and like, you know, he just came back to be more active again. Like, he essentially came back to like what he already knew, right? Like, it was familiar to him, I'm sure.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm sure it was very familiar to him, and I'm sure he was getting his own flashbacks as he was abducting ghosts into his Vipers and getting EMP'd.
Yes.
Just shaking my head.
What was the map? Was it on Submarine? I think it was Submarine.
Yeah, it was Submarine. Yeah, I'll always remember. Submarine, split map scenario. It was Ryu versus Terran.
Yeah, by Terran, we actually mean Terran.
Yeah, that's
his name.
Battle of the Americas. Like round of 32. That was... I'll always remember, because when the round of 32 finished, as in when that series finished, it was such a long best of 3. The upper semis were waiting for us. we hopped out of that round of 32 match, and Yoda and I were like, okay, I guess we're going in.
It was pretty crazy, but it looks like we will be getting our lobby set up very soon. As they say, cross your cables for no lobby bags.
Cross your cables here. As we're trying to get our next game underway. Again, we're more than willing to wait a little bit here, just because of how long that game was. That's okay. We can chill for a moment. As a reminder, the next series is going to be Eric versus Gerald, a ZVP. I will say that looking at the lineup of PSISTORM Gaming, Gerald is probably the most formidable opponent on their team, like the highest rated player, I should say.
You say that. But Nicoract is a Beyond Slayer.
True. Nicoract. I will say that Nicoract is like a bit of a TVT sniper in a way. Like he is terrifying as well. But Gerald at the moment, you know, we saw it in eSport. He came second there. Like he's currently, I would say, the best Protoss in Poland right now, even above Art at the moment. I think I'm comfortable saying that. So yeah, he is scary in his own right.
Yeah, and there are a lot of Polish Protoss players, so that is quite a title, really.
Oh yeah, a lot of scary Protoss. Oh boy. So
I just always get reminded of Byan and Nicoract meeting each other in the OSC King of the Hill. Like, it is me again. I know, I've been waiting.
Yeah. The banter between Nicoract and Byan was beautiful. It was beautiful, and that's something we always get to see. So, yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see that there's some lore between some of these players.
Yeah, apparently Nicoract has defeated Byan quite a few times for some reason. Why is it Byan specifically? We do not know.
Meanwhile, there we go. It looks like Namshar has shown up. Thank God. Oh boy, he is ready to go. As a reminder, this is a best of 1 GLHF. The timer has begun. We are loading into game number 3. Is it gonna be a 3-0, or will PSISTORM Gaming fight back?
Yeah, we will find out as soon as we load into this map. And the map is Mundans, as we've been saying. And oh boy, it is Dolan. What has Dolan prepared for Mundans?
That's the, like, Dolan is so coin flippy. Like, I love him
He
so
is.
much, but he is so unpredictable. No one has any idea about what this man is gonna do.
Probably even himself, if you think about it. But we will find out soon, as we are now looking at the base of said player. We are looking at the base of the Blue Terran from the United States, representing CranKy Ducklings. It is Dolan.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Moondance, we have the Swedish Zerg player himself, residing in the land of Canada, representing PSISTORM Gaming. It is Namshar.
I don't know if you heard on Philadelphia broadcast, he has been called Danger Dolan. But it looks like it's the other player who's trying to be aggressive here.
Yeah, who is in danger? Because Namshar did go for a pool first opener. Now, this pool first, we can go a couple of different routes with this, especially depending on the gas timings here. We can go into Ling Speed, into a Baneling Nest. We can go straight into a Roach Warren as well. But what's interesting is he's going for a pool hatch opener, not a pool gas hatch opener.
Yeah, it looked like for a moment he wanted to take that gas, but he changed his mind actually, and he did go for that slightly later gas. And what do you think will come out of this?
Well, you know, to me, this reads he's scared and he's afraid of a proxy. This is a safety pool first. That's why his Overlord is actually looking for proxies right now. He's here outside his natural just in case SCV showed up to throw down bunkers. Namshar is terrified of the Danger Dolan, and I don't blame him. And Dolan is going to go for an SCV scout, and he's going to confirm the timing of the hatch and the pool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely don't blame him, considering that like it's literally like 50-50 or even 60-40 if Dolan is gonna go for a proxy or not. Like, he's been throwing a lot of proxies lately, but this is not this game.
Yeah, and this is a pretty important SCV scout. He's fully aware of the pool first opener, so he's gonna he should be keeping his Reaper at home. Or right now he's trying to look for the Lings. Meanwhile, the Lings are gonna be moving out across the map, and Dolan may be misreading the situation. He may think that it's only 2 Lings. Meanwhile, 4 snuck around the right-hand side.
Yeah, it looks like they may be able to delay this command center, taking down the SCV, and Dolan actually not fast enough to react, busy scouting with the Reaper on the other side of the map, but there is a wall, so I guess this should be all the damage.
The boys have to be pulled here. He has a single Marine, and the Reaper isn't anywhere near this army, so a lot of lost mine time being caused right now. These 4 Lings are paying for themselves. They're trying to get on top of the Marine. Oh!
Ooh, they can take down the Marine, and now it's just SCVs defending here. It's only 2 Lings, so they will be cleaned up, but that's much more than Namshar expected, I think.
Yeah, they were able to deal a lot of damage. This makes up for the fact that, of course, Namshar put his own economy behind because he went for a pool first instead of a hatch first, so very well worth it here. Dolan, again, just misreading the situation. Now he has to go across the map and scout to see whether there's a 2-base all-in follow-up or whether or not there even is a 3rd.
Yeah, but it looks like there are not too many Lings on the other side of the map right now, so he should be able to get a proper scout. Just make sure to avoid the queens on the way there. Ooh, the queen is waiting.
Yeah, the queen is waiting. The Reaper is going to go down. He at least confirmed the pocket base wasn't taken. He confirmed no additional gases or hidden tech at the natural, but he didn't quite get a full scout of the main base. He was able to see no second gas taken though, so he should be feeling pretty safe.
Yeah, so it looks like Namshar will not be progressing with the tech for the time being, and Dolan feels confident enough to send his Hellions to the other side of the map to see if he can get any damage there.
Yeah, and there's something interesting going on because Dolan actually throws down an armory as well. So he has to be careful not to lose his Hellions. He has to be very careful with them. They're delicate creatures, and they need to be cherished. And he will be morphing them into Hellbats later on for a follow-up push.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, this will most likely get scouted as Namshar is flying his Overlord there right now. He also saw the Liberator coming out, so he should be prepared for the harassment coming as well.
Yeah, beautiful scout here from Namshar. Dolan unfortunately didn't have any anti-air. His anti-air would have been that 1 Marine, if you remember, that he made, but he lost it earlier in the game because of the pool first, so he had nothing to do with this.
It's kind of funny when you think about it. That there's literally nothing that shoots up. Maybe the Liberator, but here come the Hellbats.
Yeah, Liberator's going to siege up in the natural base, and Namshar is slow to respond. 2 drones are going to go down. Dolan successfully distracting the army here. He hasn't dealt any damage with his Hellbats, but he did provide an avenue for the Liberator to deal damage.
Yeah, and the Queens are trying to split up their forces to make sure the Hellbats don't go in. They're trying to respond to this Liberator, but at the same time, there's not enough to defend the Hellbats.
Oh, there we go. A couple of shots are going to be going off. 4 drones are going to go down. At the same time, Namshar considering trying to go for a surround, but his Baneling Nest isn't done because of his delayed gases. He doesn't really have a way to deal with these Hellbats.
Yeah, and it looks like they will keep pulling the attention of Namshar for the time being. We still have the Liberator alive, so it can still siege on the other side, but Dolan actually decides to go back home.
Yeah, he backs up for the time being. He unsieges his Hellions. He remorphs them into Hellions. He's going to come back home, get a bit of a repair going on, and Kuro. You see what I see?
Right? Remember how you said that Dolan has been watching the stream?
You're like, we need to have a look at Dolan's contract. We need to, Otherwise, 1 Queen is going to go down, as well as 1 additional drone at the cost of that Liberator. I think the Liberator did pay for itself in the end. But as we can see, Dolan is going to be getting into mech here on Moondance, which makes sense because on Moondance, we can get a natural base, a 3rd base, and even a 4th base pretty easily.
Yeah, and he still has quite a few of these Hellions, so they definitely will be useful later on. And with that blue flame finishing soon, they will be all the more dangerous.
He was listening to the stream. He's doing it. Kuro, he's going for a Thor drop.
Is he? It's. Is he actually gonna do it?
Oh, but it gets scattered. The Overseer was here in time, and it does spot those Thors. This will at least signify to Namshar, okay, I shouldn't go into mutas, but he didn't see the Metavacs as they came out.
Right, he might be when Dolan is playing to not say anything. just don't speak. But this is only 2 though. This is only 2.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a Doom drop. Dolan, it's not a Doom drop.
Dolan is not HH Quanta, okay? He's not going for the quad Thor drop with a 1-1 timing, unfortunately. But he is looking to sneak into the main base. He can maybe kill some Overlords. He can maybe kill a couple of units, maybe some Queens. Namshar has not spotted this. He's a little bit slow to react. And there we go, the Thors. We get an Overlord.
I mean, I will say, when you see Thors being dropped in your base, you probably also like, wait, what? But at the same time, the Hellions are coming in, and the blue flame did finish.
The blue flame did finish. The Banelings get here just in time, though. He's a little bit too afraid. He doesn't want to commit. He will back off in the end. Meanwhile, the Thors are trying to focus down this lair.
Yeah, I like how the roaches approach the Thors and like, wait a minute, those are Thors. Those are big.
They're big, Papi. Another Hellion run by rotates over. Has to be careful here. The Banelings do find some connections. Ooh, 3 Hellions are going to go down. Up. Ooh, only 3.
You see the Baneling running? He was trying so hard to reach the Hellion.
Look, he's terrifying. Like... He's scary.
Oh my god.
Up.
Ooh, one of the Hellions goes down, and the Taurus, I mean, and the second one is also damaged, but it will be safe for the time being. But also means that Namshar's attention is pulled to his main base, and he will be staying with these roaches there for the time being. But he now sees Dolan going back home as he flies over the creek.
Yeah, a little bit of miscontrol there from Dolan. He did kill 1 queen, but it was a queen for a Thor, so not quite worth it in the end. Has to come back home and repair. Meanwhile, Namshar is going to respond with Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. We've already got +2 melee on the way, +1 range still on the way, so the Ravagers aren't going to be anywhere near as useful, but you know, he's got the right composition in mind, and his worker count isn't looking too shabby either.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to know what is Dolan's next step. We got a Thor drop. What is the next idea?
I mean, he's going to be going for a little bit of lib harass. These Hellion run-bys haven't been doing much, I'll be honest. Like, they've been threatening bases, but they haven't been roasting drones. And he needs to try and slow down the economy of Namshar before he gets out of control. We'll see if he can do so, as one Liberator sieges up here at the 4th and the other in the natural.
Ooh, very nice buys from Namshar there, and that gets dealt with, but not before we get 7 drones down. At the same time, the Hellions are trying to find some damage on the other side. but they are actually being surrounded by the Zerglings, and it looks like it will be the end of that harassment.
Yeah, they get a couple of volleys off, but they get cleaned up in the end. Meanwhile, the Liberators get cleaned up as well. 7 drones went down. Not bad damage, but was it worth two Liberators instead of 1? I'm not too certain about that, especially because Namshar now he's got his hive on the way. He's taking up even further, getting a more ideal army.
Yeah, the infestors are already on the way. And as you said, this army is getting more and more scary as time goes by. And I mean, Dolan's army is good, but the mech will definitely get much more, risky as you get all those infestors, all those links. We even have double spires being thrown down.
Yeah, double Spire to eventually get into Broodlord. So Broodlord Infestor is going to be the ideal composition here for Namshar. Dolan, very crucial scan, sees all the tech, sees the Infestor, sees the Spires on the way, so he can respond and he starts Thor production.
I guess we will be seeing more Thors this game, but will it be quite mass Thor?
I mean, Thors are quite chunky. They're not bad against roaches. And ooh, Dolan is going to be moving out.
Okay. Okay. I can see that, like, his army looks pretty strong currently, and, like, Namshar has not built up his defenses quite yet, but his army is actually already here.
Yeah, the army's already here. Lings go for a run by the natural base. Biles miss the army of Dolan. Some decent pickups there, able to save what they can, but again, this Ling run by is going undeterred. It's getting a lot of damage done.
Yeah, the Hellions will be able to come back and defend that, but 12 SCVs already going down, and now this mech army is actually left alone and being able to be sniped.
Yeah, Dolan lost a lot of supply there. He lost 12 workers, and he lost, quickly checking here, he lost 4 tanks and another Thor as well. Like, these mech units are very costly here. They're very supply intensive as well, and Dolan has to back on up and try and remax.
Yeah, like, as I was like, this is the problem of mech, that, like, sure, you have all these strong units, but it's very easy to get them trapped if they just happen to be in the wrong place in the wrong time. So Dolan has to really think about his positioning in this fight. Like, he cannot be, like, pulled apart like he was just then, because without proper backup, like, these units will get destroyed very easily.
Exactly, and his units can even turn on him as well, as we do have 10 Infestors set up, just like how Ryu dealt with Creed in his series. He's going to be looking to try and Neural Parasite and take control of these Thors.
Yeah, I did say that this is going to be another ZVT, but the opposite way. So I guess we are going into another late game, just slightly different with the mech this time.
And this time we're going to be cheering for the mech player instead of cheering against them.
That sounds disgusting, but yes.
Meanwhile, we can see Namshar has creeped the entire map. He hasn't taken all the bases, but the creep is out of control. It's all over the place. He even has a borrowed Ling here on the right-hand side. Dolan is going to have a hard time expanding. Ooh, and once again, the door is open. The Lings get in.
Yeah, another run by from Namshar, and getting a lot of SCVs actually, but at the same time there is an army on the front that Dolan has to keep an eye on, so even when he moves back here to deal with these Zerglings, like, there's always this potential of the frontal attack.
Yeah, there really is. We do see the Dolan's trying to get into Ghost production right now. We do see Enhanced Shockwaves is on the way. The first couple of Ghosts are coming out. But again, like, Namshar is kind of suffocating Dolan as we speak. Like, he's really, really struggling to keep up, to get a bank up and running. Namshar is just drowning in resources.
Yeah, like you were saying, like, Namshar has taken the entire map, but he's not even taking the bases. Like, he doesn't need them right now. Like, he just has the control, like, on the creep alone.
Yeah, pretty much. And soon it's going to come down to one big fight. I don't blame Dolan for waiting, though. I do think that the Ghosts are really important, especially when dealing with these Infestors.
Ooh, this upgrade almost gets denied, but not quite yet. But another volley will probably deny this armor upgrade. But looks like Namshar actually lets it finish.
The Infestors are coming in! Up! Up!
Ooh, and we have a lot of Neurals on the way, but there's still quite a lot of the mech army, but isn't enough to deal with these roaches.
Yeah, he's focusing down these Thors. 3 Thors are going to be going down, and the Neurals just keep on going. Oh my god, he even Neurals the Ghost! Oh.
He does, but we do have some snipes on the Infestors as well, and I think a few of them did go down, so they were able to deal with the neurals, but I mean both players suffered heavy losses, except the mech is just that much harder to remake.
Yeah, Namshar, he wanted to get rid of his army, by the way, because he's transitioning. We have Corruptors on the way for those Broodlords. Like, he is getting out of Roach Ravager into Broodlord Infestor.
Yeah, as we were saying, you typically don't play like very late game with all those Ravagers around, so they are just there for the time being. And once their use runs out, like Namshar will have another army prepared.
Yeah, exactly. Thankfully, Ghosts, again, are going to be useful against those Broodlords as well. Ghosts, again, just like we talked about last game, it's all about the Ghost Thor. The Ghost Thor, a couple of tanks sprinkled in. It's going to be all about that army control as well. The biggest difference, though, is that Namshar has a massive bank.
It looks like he has a larva bank as well, as they're just, sitting there waiting for their time. And Dolan now sees that like he's scanning the bases, he's trying to find out how many bases Namshar actually has. But as we said, he still has access to quite a few that he's not even taking.
Yeah, I think this is a mistake from Namshar, to be honest. Like, I understand that he probably feels really free to just be a little bit frivolous with his drones, but I feel like he should be a little bit more proactive and intentionally be mining out these fringe bases first.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good idea, but I feel like a lot of people don't quite, think about it when taking the bases. They go for the safe option. But that is a very important point, that like every mineral that you mine out from these bases is like that much less that your opponent will get once they get there.
Yeah, and I think Namshar has finally done so. Like, again, he hasn't mined from his pocket base at all. He does rotate all of his drones over towards the top right-hand base instead. So he is mining from some of the more important bases. Meanwhile, Dolan has to be a little bit careful here. I am worried that his ghosts, all of his ghosts are bunched up a little bit too close and vulnerable to a fungal.
Yeah, and there are some banelings being morphed right now, so he has to be careful about those as well. And as you said, we are having a very similar situation to previous game, where you have ghosts, Thors, and tanks versus the Broodlords and Infestors.
And just like the previous game, it's going to be all about whether or not Dolan can expand and take some of these bases. He's got his corner of the map, that's great and all. Meanwhile, the Broodlords are dipping on 4. They take down one of these tanks. The snipes come in on the Ravagers.
Yeah, actually snipes a lot of the Ravagers, but as we said, like, Namshar didn't necessarily want them anymore anyway, and he does dodge the banelings though, so the ghosts survive to recharge the energy.
Oh, they do survive in the end. Meanwhile, Namshar just going to be morphing in even more Broodlords here. More Ghosts and Thors are in production. I worry a little bit that maybe we have too many tanks. Looking at the unit type here, we have 13 tanks from Dolan. Okay, that should be okay. But again, we don't want too much supply in that as the Ghosts come on forward.
Yeah, they did snipe a few units, but these banelings are very dangerous as they come to close distance. And I mean, to be fair, Namshar's army doesn't look all that big, but all these Broodlords are actually bunched up, so it's hard to say.
Yeah, looking at the units tab here, we have 15 Broodlords versus 15 Ghosts. One apiece here when it comes to these high-intense units. Meanwhile, a couple of these Queens are going to get picked off as well. Again, another base going to be taken from Namshar as he rotates over towards the south instead. Going to be trying to pick up some of these tanks.
Yeah, luckily Dolan does spot this change in position, and he's able to respond here, but it's not an ideal position for him. Oh, he may actually snipe some Broodlords.
Yeah, oh my god, 2-3 Broodlords go down in an instant. Looking at the units lost tab there. Yes, 3 Broodlords in total, not bad whatsoever, but he will lose some of these tanks.
That he will. He did lose the front of this base with the tanks, but he's setting up more SimCity there, and I mean, yeah, this is like this slow kind of fight where we're just gonna see who's gonna survive longer, essentially.
Yeah, I still want to give the advantage to Namshar a little bit just because of his base count, but at the same time, oh my god, these ghosts, oh, they're too far forward! Oh.
They're so exposed, Dolan! This is what danger Dolan really means, huh?
Oh no! Oh, and this is why Dolan is in danger. Another fungal connects. Thankfully, there was no follow-up, there was no punish. Didn't lose a ghost.
Yeah, and the Medivac is there to heal them as well, so they will be safe, but Namshar keeps rotating the attacks, and it takes a while to move all of that mech army to the other base, so every time Namshar is getting a little bit something.
Yeah, meanwhile, another CC is going to be going down. Another tank goes down as well. The Ghosts are trying to edge on closer. We have an EMP, but the fungal connects.
Ooh, the fungal connects, but fortunately, once again, there was nothing to really punish that. There were a few ghosts, I think 1 or 2 might have died, but that was really it, and most of them are still safe with a lot of energy.
Oh, exactly. A couple more snipes coming in here. Ghost barely managed to escape this time, especially with their cloak. Oh my god, they actually want to chase on forward. Very bold move here from Dolan.
Yeah, and he may actually pay for it as this fungal nicely connects and the broodlings are able to damage a lot of them. They don't kill a lot of them, fortunately enough.
Oh my god, exactly. Meanwhile, we have a couple of snipes here. 0 detection available. No, okay, one more Overseer is going to be coming on in. The ghosts are exposed, and every ghost goes down.
Yeah, that's it for the ghosts of Dolan, and now it's just Thors against these Broodlords, and the Infestors are still there as well, so it's actually very risky.
Yeah, I mean, the Infestors did get EMP'd, so they have 0 energy remaining. So Dolan, that's why he was feeling so adventurous with his army, because he knew he couldn't get punished from those fungals. But now another wave of Infestors shows up, replacing the Broodlords that were killed.
Yeah, and now the Broodlords are coming in. This was this intentional? That I think Namshar like might have killed his Cryptum or something just to get the Broodlings out.
Yeah, that was intentional. So he baits out all of those Broodlings. He takes down a planetary. Ooh, this position is getting a little bit compromised.
Yeah, but they're still the Thors.
Oh my god. The EMPs were beautiful, and because of that, the Neural Parasite, it finishes immediately.
Yeah, and the Thors are still standing. They're actually moving into the creep now. There are a few Hellbats still on the front trying to deal with these Broodlings. I mean, this is a lot of Broodlings, but it looks like it's just enough to clean it up for now.
Yeah, and thankfully, Namshar actually has 2 groups of Infestors. He always keeps the second group in the backline, so even if the first one gets EMP'd, he does have a kind of a group 2 of Infestors to come in to help support.
Yeah, but as you were saying, like, it's important who will be, like, if the Terran will be able to expand, as we said, and, you know, this is the first time that Dolan is able to, like, you know, break free of the siege from Namshar. So the question is, will he be able to use that?
We'll see. Meanwhile, we have a massive link bait run by. It looks like this will be enough to take down the Planetary. There we go. The Planetary gets deleted. More Banelings going to be rolling in as well. Meanwhile, I don't know if you noticed something. I'm worried here for Dolan, because Dolan remaxed. He didn't make any ghosts. He has 2 ghosts right now with his army. He remaxed with more Thors. He's going for a more mass Thor composition as well. And I don't know if that's the wisest of choices.
Yeah. Especially with all these Infestors rolling around. The Thors are fairly risky. They are big as well, so it's hard for them to move around when they try to defend the bases. So it may be not ideal choice there indeed.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we are running out of minerals for Dolan. Slowly but surely, we need another hatchery. We need another base sooner rather than later here for Dolan. He has a large bank now, but you know we gotta think long term.
Yeah, he has been slowly cleaning creep on this side, on this base, but the Broodlords are still here, and he's trying to move all his Thors out. They're actually stuck on the SimCity.
Stuck on the SimCity, stuck on the Changelings as well. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a scan here. The Broodlords once again dancing with these Thors. Infestors trying to find their way in. Another EMP connects with a portion of the Infestors.
Yeah, the Broodlords are still standing, still sending another and another wave of Broodlings, but Thors are alive and they will soon be in range as well. Another EMP on the Infestors.
Yeah, 4 Infestors get taken out, but we have a second group of Infestors coming on in. They get their Neurals off.
Yeah, the Banelings roll in straight into the Thors and damage a lot of them, not killing them quite yet, but that's still a lot of damage, and with all the Neurals going on, it will be half of the Dolan's army.
Namshar takes a massive fight there. Again, we needed more ghosts, we needed less of those Thors, or we needed a more balanced army in the end. Namshar is pushing on forward. Dolan has a bank, but he needs time to rebuild.
Yeah, and I don't think Namshar is willing to give him that time, as these Broodlords are still moving in. There are only 3 Thors now, so this is actually not enough to kill this ball of Broodlords.
Yeah, I just realized I think the biggest issue right now is that we only have 3 Raxes. We needed more Raxes to build more Ghosts at once. We have a Fusion Core on the way. This is a bit of a desperation move here from Dolan. I don't know if he can really wait that long.
Yeah, really doesn't look like Dolan has much time here. The Broodlords keep moving on their position, you know. At the same time, the Infestors are recharging the energy. Namshar is getting even more Broodlords behind this, and you know, this army is really small and really slow.
Oh boy, it is really slow. Meanwhile, okay, a couple of these Broodlords are going to get caught out as they're being morphed in. Dolan is slowly rebuilding, but we have everything in production. It's like, he may be panicking a little bit. He's got Hellions on the way, he's got Widowmines on the way, he's got Liberators, whatever he can get his hands on right now. Ghosts as well, he starts +3 armor, he's got that fusion core. He rebuilds his army once, and that's it. That's his bank.
Yeah, it's already starting to run out. Meanwhile, Namshar is still waiting in front of his base. And now the Broodlords move in.
Yeah, the Broodlords, they move on in once again. We need a couple more Ghosts to try and deny those Infestors. Liberators will help zone away the Infestors. We saw that again in the previous game. Oh boy, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, that's a question. As there are more Broodlings pouring in, and the Hellions are trying to deal with them, but still, like Dolan is using units every time.
He really is. Again, 2 more Ghosts go down. The Broodlords push on forward. Like, the Liberators are doing what they can, but even if there weren't Infestors, I just don't know if Dolan can deal with the Broodlords.
Yeah, like each time, you know, with each Broodlord wave, like he's using a few units, and Broodlords are still standing. Like, Broodlords are not even being damaged most of the time. Like, every now and then they will go into the range of the towers, but most of the time they're fairly safe there.
Yeah, they really are. Oh boy, it looks like Dolan has completely given up again on those Ghosts. Still more Thors and Hellions in production instead. I mean, the Liberators are kind of supplementing the role of the Ghost right now, just zoning away those Infestors whenever he can.
Yeah, I mean, that is nice, but they are not dealing with the Broodlords, and there's more and more of them.
Yeah, the Broodlords are kind of out-positioning the army. He's pushing on forward in towards the natural base. Dolan is going to be coming in from behind instead. Liberators coming in using their anti-air.
Anti-air on Broodlords, I mean anti-air of the Liberators on Broodlords, but it doesn't look like it's enough. There's even more Neurals. The Broodlords are still standing, the turrets are slowly falling down, and GG is called. Namshar will put a point on the board.
GG does indeed get called, and Namshar, he starts the comeback here for PSISTORM Gaming.
Yep, so it will not be a clean sweep today. Looks like we will be playing at least all the 4 matches that have been planned.
Oh boy, yes we are. And we'll see how things go here, because oh boy, the Ducklings, we're going to be put into a pretty precarious position as I try to check on a couple of things here. I was just messaged by Eric. Unfortunately, as I quickly switch the scene over, unfortunately, Eric did notify me in the middle of, I think it was in the middle of, or at the start of this series of Dolan versus Namshar, that he would not be available here. He unfortunately is out. He's voting over in Brazil. They are voting this weekend. Of course, he's doing his duty. And because of that, he won't be able to play out his game against Gerald.
Yeah, so that's very unfortunate. It was a pretty hype series, really. Like, you know, seeing Eric versus Gerald. As we did say, that Gerald is definitely one of the most, like, one of the strongest players from Poland currently, really. But yeah, it looks like unfortunately we will not be seeing that much today, but no, we will still have a game.
Yes, that we will. And just quickly checking here, because if of course Eric does give the walkover to Geralt, which will most likely happen, the ace match, the map is going to be on Inside and Out.
Interesting. As I say, in the meanwhile, they just say that. In the meantime, a quick shout out to Paco Mike, who just happened to pop up in the chat.
Oh, Paquito. Paco Mike shows up in the chat. Quack, papi, quack. Of course, Mexican Protoss player, one of the best Protosses in all of Latino America. Welcome. Oh boy. And yeah, so we are going to be giving the walkover win here. I'm just going to let the team captain know for PSISTORM Gaming.
I mean, voting is important.
Mm-hmm.
So good on Eric. Unfortunate timing there, but it happens every now and then.
Boy.
So do we know? I guess you shouldn't be saying that yet, but do we know who's gonna come out in the ice?
That's a good question here. Oh boy, that is a good question. Obviously our ace player is, of course, Vindicta. That is no surprise to anyone when it comes to overall. However, I do think that he may not have thought that he would be needed. And currently I am struggling to contact Vindicta.
Oh no. Somebody sent the bad signal for Vindicta.
We need Miguelito, papi. I did warn him that we may need him for the ace match, but yeah. At the moment, he isn't here. We're gonna be. I think we're gonna be given some time to find him.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a busy day for Ducklings already, as we did have the WTL match beforehand as well. So, Vindicta already played his games today as well. He did win a game against Nightmare, by the way, which was really hype. But it would be really nice if we could rely on his power once again.
Oh boy. Yes, we'll see if we can rely on his power. Meanwhile, when it comes to PSISTORM Gaming, I imagine they're going to be fielding Gerald as the ace, to be honest. Like that would make the most sense to me.
I'm so sorry, Mix. As we know, Vindicta is a big fan of Protoss and the TVP matchup. It's his favorite.
Oh god. Yes. He loves it. Ay.
Guys, spam thanks light in the chat for handling all of this, for doing both the production and the captaining stuff, and managing the players, making sure they are all in the lobbies when they need to be. Like this takes a lot of work. Okay, so thanks light.
Thank you. I do what I can. Oh god. Just messaging, and we're going to try and reveal the ace players to each other at the same time. Again, I'm assuming they're gonna pick Gerald, but they could throw out a curveball and try and go for Nicoract instead.
I was going to say, this is where we go for the TVT sniper, huh? Yeah, we will see soon enough as the things are being currently set up. In the meantime, if you're not following the channel, make sure to follow our channel if you want to see more StarCraft casting, because we do cast quite a few tournaments every week, every time we can.
Oh yes, and here we go. The players are set. We have decided it's as we assumed. It is going to be Vindicta versus Gerald.
Nice. Sounds like a pretty good matchup. And we will see if Vindicta can overcome Protoss. For those who know, like, Vindicta has been traumatized by Protoss. Really. It's a thing in his stream. Okay.
The trauma is real. Trauma is real.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And as we know, TVP unwinnable, but also PVT unwinnable. So it cancels each other out. So balanced.
Yeah, it does balance out. You know, look, if everything is imbalanced, nothing is imbalanced. That is the way it usually is. Oh god. As yeah, it looks like we have our lobby, our players are coming in, and as soon as our players are ready for us, we're gonna get into game number 5.
Indeed, we will. Now, what do you think it will be? Do you think this will be like a long macro game once again, or do you think this will be something more spicy?
Oh boy, I want to say macro. I don't think Geralt is too cheesy, to be honest. From what we've seen, but maybe things will change because it is the best of 5. We shall see as we are loading on in. The beeps are here. We're getting into the ace match.
So thanks for your cooperation, chat.
I see you in the chat. Vindicta, aka Miguel, does this mean we get the Spanish intro from Kuro?
No.
Ah.
Por favor, no.
¿Por qué, papi? ¿Por qué?
Anyway, we are now loaded into our ace match between the two teams. Apparently, they know each other. I actually didn't know that, but they seem to be having a bit of fun. And we are looking at the Duckling representative, the Duckling Ace, the #1 duck, as he showed in today's celebration. It is the none other than our Terran player from the United States, Vindicta.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Polish Protoss player himself representing PSISTORM Gaming. It is Gerald. Best Protoss in all of Poland.
Every time we say that, I'm like, is there another Protoss that we forget? I mean, I guess there's Mana. But I would say that it's like right now, it's arguable who's better there.
I don't know. I would say at the moment both Geralt and Art are probably a step above, and Christian. I think the new kids have overtaken Mana. I think.
Yeah. I mean, at least they're getting there for sure.
Yeah. Mad respect to Mana, though. Again, he's been around for a very long time, very historic player, and still very powerful in his own right. Oh boy. But we are getting into this TVP, and Vindicta are going to be going for a 1 gas opener here, so going to be going for something a little bit more economic.
Surprise, surprise, we are going for proper macro style. I do wonder if it's gonna be super late game this time. Ooh, as this pro is actually almost going down.
Yeah, the pro wants the SCV, he wants the SCV! Vindicta does respond in time, he pulls away with that weakened SCV. The probe slowly regenning its shields here, being as annoying as possible.
But did you see that handoff from one SCV to the other? Like, it was seamless. Like one left, the other one was right there, but now it may actually go down. Ooh, very safe. GG.
Oh god, the Chad Reaper comes out just in time, takes care of that probe, and Vindicta is going to be able to get his CC up and running. Meanwhile, across the map, Vindicta did go for his own SCV scout just to confirm and make sure that there was a natural base, and we can see that Gerald is not going for a Stargate, but going for a Twilight Council opener instead.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, but it also looks like Vindicta will be able to scout it right there with his Reaper. There was no unit there to protect Gerald's base from scouting, and very nice piece of information for Mix.
Yeah, very nice information indeed. Vindicta, he was able to get into the main base. He has seen the tech. He's fully aware of it. Oh, and now back at home, we can get into the swing of things. Again, he's just playing it out safe, going for a bunker. There are some Terran players that try and skip this. You know, they try and be a little bit greedy and save resources, basically hoping that the Adept doesn't come across the map. But as we can see, Geralt is on the way. The bunker is ready to meet it.
Yes, it did. He will check what's going on at the natural, maybe even get a mule, which would be very nice, but... Ooh, nicely done.
Yeah, it does get a mule for his troubles. Can he get out with the Adept, though? That's the real question. One more volley and... Oh! He goes down.
Yeah, nice defense there from Vindicta, but he does lose that mule, which is always painful. But, you know, no major losses there.
And nothing major in the end. Meanwhile, at the same time, Gerald is looking to try and go for his third base. Is going for a robo follow-up after this Twilight Council as well. Oh boy, and Vindicta, he just doesn't care, he just dives in anyway.
Yeah, I mean, may as well, he may actually get a probe or two for it, but yeah, 2 probes it looks like, and now Citizens Arrest, the Hellion goes down.
Yeah, the Hellion goes down in the end. Only gets 2 probes for his trouble, so nicely done here by Gerald. Nice crisis management, is going to be able to get into the swing of things without too much trouble, and yeah, hopefully get his third up soon as well.
Yes, indeed, as the blink is about to be finished, and I do wonder if Gerald is planning something more aggressive with this, or if he's gonna just, you know, stay at home and progress with his tech in the meantime.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, right now we're just keeping an eye on the gateway count. Right now we only have 3 gates from Gerald. If we get a 4th, then that will signify a little bit more aggression from him, as we do have a Warp Prism on the way as well, alongside the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, it looks like the Observer is already making its way onto the other side of the map, so there will be some vision for him in case he decides to get for some blinks. But we also have a Raven, so we should be able to deny that Observer.
Yeah, we should be able to deny it. Meanwhile, the Observer does turn into that observation mode just outside the main base. It is 4-gate, by the way, so Geralt with 4-gate Blink Stalker is going to be hyper aggressive. There we go, warping in another wave of Stalkers as well. Going to try and find his way into the main base. We do have 1 tank covering both the natural and the main. We don't have a bunker in the main, though, so a little bit vulnerable here. Geralt is going to try and find his way in.
The Raven is actually going away. I think he's going to harass the other base, but at the same time, this is when Gerald decides to strike.
Yeah, the production is under threat. The add-on is denied on this factory. The factory itself may even go down as well. The tank will be able to cover a portion of this space, but not all of it. Oof.
Yeah, and actually, Gerald just blinks in. He almost slimes the dice, but actually keeps it alive.
Yeah, oh my god, a crucial mistake there from Geralt. He doesn't kill the tank, and as a result, Vindicta, he holds.
Yeah, that he does, but I mean, he holds for now, as the warp is still there and still warping more Stalkers, so he has to prepare his defenses. At the same time, the Draven is going to the other side of the map, so he will not be there for help.
Yeah, at the same time, we have a blink on forward here. The tank is going to go down as well as that bunker, so Geralt is still finding damage, don't get me wrong. Ooh, going to be losing a minimal amount of Stalkers at the same time, but now it's Vindicta's turn to deal some damage. Ooh.
Yeah, his Raven is chilling there, but the Stalkers are being warped in at home as well, and it doesn't look like it's gonna really do anything.
Yeah, exactly. The Raven was spotted by that pylon, so great observation there by Geralt. At the same time, this Observer is still alive. Vindicta, he's gonna try and get it, but no, the Observer gets out of range just in time. Ooh, so because of that, Geralt, he can keep an eye on the rotations. That's why he's been able to pick off whatever he has been, whatever he can.
Yeah, in the meantime, we do have all the upgrades finishing for Vindicta, so his army will be that much stronger. On the other side of the map, we have Colossi coming up, so, you know, Gerald is just holding here for the time being, but soon the army will be, you know, reinforced with something stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 1 Colossus for the time being, so there's still a window here because this army has gotten quite large for Vindicta. He's going to move out, finally forces all these Stalkers back. He's going to be able to buy a little bit of breathing room to expand and actually get his third base up and running. Oh, I spoke too soon. Despite getting a third, he's pulling the boys. Oh my god.
The boys are coming in. We were talking about long macro games, but it looks like Vindicta is going for something slightly more aggressive. And, I mean, the Colossi, I think there might be 1 Colossi right now,
There's going to be no Colossi because the Raven's coming in. If he keeps it alive, he can get the disable off. Oh my god, he goes for the anti-armor missile instead. He can go for both.
I mean, with all this bio present here, it may actually be very useful, and the Colossi is right behind.
Yeah, unfortunately, a second anti-armor missile was used. No disable whatsoever. The Colossi is going to swipe away at all of these workers. The bio army is doing a decent amount of damage, but again, the Colossi is still wreaking havoc.
Ooh, the Raven actually goes down, and there's not much bio left, but there is still that 1 tank, and Geralt has to respect this.
Oh god, I mean, killing the third base is not enough. Vindicta has to kill him, and the second Colossus is about to pop out. Oh.
Yeah, it pops right on top of the army, but it also means that it goes down. Both of them do, actually.
Oh my god, the target firing was insane. I was so concerned that the Raven was a little bit misused there, but despite that, Vindicta, he's breaking into the natural.
Yeah, he's going straight in, and the Robo goes down, the Pylon goes down, so there is no shield batteries here either. and he's actually doing a lot of damage, and Vindicta takes it.
Wow. GG gets called, and Vindicta will be able to not just take game number 5, but also the series here for the CranKy Ducklings.
Yeah, really nice to see that. Like this was like really like this switch where it's like, okay, so I'm being attacked constantly. Let's just go to the other side of the map and destroy him.
It was crazy because he had a third on the way. That's what blew my mind. Like, he still had a third, which was shown to that observer. Bear that in mind. So Gerald assumed, okay, you're just macroing up, you're just taking another base, everything should be fine. The observer moved over towards the left-hand side, and then bam, Vindicta just pulls the boys.
Yeah, this was very decisive for me, and it did work out. Like, and these snipes on Colossi were so crucial there. Like, as it popped out right on top of the army, but you know, it happened to be just what Vindicta wanted, because that means that the Colossi is right there in the range.
Yeah. God, I was so worried. I was so concerned there when because if you saw, he doubled up on the anti-armor missile with the Raven, and I'm pretty sure it's because he just thought, I have energy, I may as well just do it again because there's nothing else for it to do. And after he sent out the second anti-armor missile, then the Colossi showed up, and I was like, he could have disabled it. But as you saw, apparently it didn't even matter.
Yeah, didn't need it. It's too good. So when are we updating the hexagon for Vindicta in WTL?
True. But give
On
him
micro.
more offense. Give him more micro. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to not just Vindicta, but also all of our players that played today. Vindicta, Dolan, Ryu, Eric may have played, but of course he was unavailable today. And I know Dolan's been having a hard time. He got 2-0'd in WTL, and he lost his game here as well. I know he's feeling a little bit sad about it. But Dolan, you know, it's okay. You can bounce back, and we know you can do well. We know that.
Yeah, I mean, at least his games are always fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I always appreciate that. I appreciate like people who aren't exactly standard.
And Dolan is anything but standard. So, also, GG and well played to PSISTORM Gaming, of course. They were a great team to work with here. Again, great team to like set everything up with as well, and they did provide a lot of good games. Namshar looked very powerful against Dolan. Even Nicoract and Creed had their own moments as well. Like, the games themselves were not one-sided at all.
I mean, Ryu and Creed was a really good game. Like, I mean, we can look past the lurkers dying in the main base, but like other than that, it was a really good game.
I just
like
love
it was
that.
Really like down to the last mineral.
I just love that when I was talking to Ryu, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. He's like, I'm just doing whatever, puppy. I'm just trying to kill the Terrans, and they won't die. Oh god. Yeah, it's great to see Ryu coming back. I'm sure next time we'll be able to feature Eric as well. He was letting me know that, you know, this one weekend is the one weekend that he's unavailable, but every other weekend he'll be sure to be there. So yes.
Yeah, Eric generally does show up for these team matches, so make sure to look forward to his games later on.
Definitely. And with that, thank you so much everyone for tuning in and watching. If you want to support us, of course, we have a Patreon if you're interested. We also have subscriptions available on our Twitch channel as well if you want to support us that way. Otherwise, just follow us on social media. You know, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we have a YouTube channel, we have a Discord server, we're all over the place. If you want to follow us for the next time we go live.
Yeah, definitely make sure to join the Discord server, because that is the hub where we announce everything that is happening around the Ducklings, including the streams of our players. As I said, Ryu recently started streaming again, so maybe you want to check that out.
Yeah, exactly. It's all there, it's all available to you. Oh boy. And with that, Kuro, do you want to let the people know where can they find more of you?
If you want to find more of me, make sure to join the Discord. Did I mention Discord? But also, if you want to follow my personal channel, then make sure to check out twitch.tv/16squadsanseki. I know this is a difficult name, but, you know, it was available, okay? And I usually don't stream StarCraft there, but I am planning to do a ladder session at some point, and it may be a cheesy one. So if you're into that, you can see me attempt at that. But if you want to see slightly better gameplay, where would you go?
Twitch.tv/Vindicta.
Their gameplay. Let's specify.
You can follow me at lad_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I stream throughout the week. I didn't stream today because we casted 3 tournaments. ESL Open Cup Asia, World Team League, and BTL. I am so tired. I need to sleep. My brain was turning off a little bit in that game, not gonna lie. But yeah, you can follow me there. I'm probably going to be streaming tomorrow. I'll do my best to try and go live. Yeah, you know, you can tune into some Zerg ladder gameplay. Nothing amazing. We just try and have fun and try and enjoy ourselves. I'm probably going to try and play some other games. I know it's happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween. As it is the 31st.
What are you playing for Halloween? Huh?
StarCraft. It's the scariest game of all.
Yes.
ZVT. It's terrifying.
As we saw today.
As we saw today.
Terrifying.
It's terrifying. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try and play some other games. I know I still haven't finished Spider-Man, the remastered PC edition of Spider-Man. I'm almost done. I just have to get around to finishing it. So maybe I'll do that this week at some point. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed themselves regardless. Our next broadcast, looking at the calendar, won't be for a little bit. I believe our next broadcast will most likely be World Team League. Actually, is World Team League not Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week?
I don't. Let me double check our calendar. Yeah. I guess it's not.
Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Is that correct?
I have to double check.
Tentatively, I believe our next broadcast is going to be on Friday for World Team League. We may be notified in the next couple of days to cover OC King of the Hill.
Round 6 starts on Monday, yeah.
Oh, okay. We need to let everyone know about that. That may be an issue. But regardless, maybe it's because of I don't know what it could be before. Regardless, we may be casting in the middle of the week OSC King of the Hill. Unconfirmed. Otherwise, our next broadcast will be, ESL Open Cup Asia on Sunday.
We have Vindicta in the chat.
Miguelito. What? Get some rest, papi. Get some rest. Less than 3. Vindicta_SC2. Give him a follow. Ace player, the CranKy Ducklings, known as the Shaft of Voltron. Go to bed. Oh my god. And with that, Kuro, do you have anything you want to say before we head off for the night?
Quack.
Quack. Stick around, we're going to be giving another streamer a raid. I do not know who. There's a couple of people live right now. We may give it to Dave Testa. Berserker Esports are also streaming their own matches as well. So we'll pick and choose and give some love to one of these streamers. Give them a chance. They're all amazing at what they do. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Good job, Vindicta, and all the Ducklings. Good job.